I know my shirt is off. I just turned off the radio. Shom FM. CH, creation, heaven. O can be the egg, the 15th letter, which makes man. And M is the 13th letter, which is the creation of the spirit. Okay, Shom, creation of the spirit, creation of man. 9 of the 9 worlds, or if you want to look at it a different way, the 9 months of birth of 7.7. 7 in this world compared to the world of God. We have the same, it's the same here as it is up there in the spirit world. 7.7. God's world and our world. Shom FM. Anyways, why I mentioned them is because they were talking about fallen angels. And it's so funny because I have an account somewhere where I call myself last year 2005 because that's when this all began. And why did I call it last year? Because it was the last year of my normal life. 2005. I'm into my 6th year, and it'll be 6 years, 6 months, 6 days in June, July, August, September, October, November. November 10th, or 11th. It'll be 666 for me. And not only that, that's about the time that Lenin, the comet they say that is passing through, or God's ship. How is it passing through? How do they know the passage already? Have they seen it before? Okay, because if they all come in certain cuts of time, I mean, it's a setup. Show it coming in and out. So they say it's supposed to come in our pathway about, or just after our pathway, just in the beginning of November. But it has to have a push on the way in and a pull on the way out. So whatever dust comes in with it, and whatever it drops off on the way through, it won't hit us. It's not designed for that. It's definitely designed for the change, the involvement of our minds. The dust in the air, what we breathe. All these diseases, we're putting dust in the air, we're going to breathe it, and something's going to happen to us. God does the same thing. Where do you think they got the idea from? They stole it out of his book. He can't hide anything he does up there, or very little, depending what he's playing. If he's playing from the 5 position, if he plays from the 7 position, everything's private and a secret. Okay. Anyways, fallen angels they mentioned, and fallen angels. Can it be a separation between the spirit and man, the angel? They separate, okay, and they both fall up, or they both fall down, but they both fall in the same directions because they're both going to heaven. Fallen angels. Get it? Another thing I was going to talk about was the 7286 of MrTacpans's. Now, 7286, okay, automatically has the 5. That means MrTacpans's numbers come from the heavens. They are not part of the earth. The 6 is not connected to the 4. Okay? There is no east-west. The only route that is direct is the 2, 5, and 8, which makes a total of 15, which is the egg of heaven, coming right from heaven, the beta world of the beta world. Okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is not there. 3 is not there. 1 is not there. This is straight from the heavens. This is not a creation. This is a direct hookup with this number right here. That's what I'm assuming it is. Anyways, another thing I was thinking about was yellow blood types. Yellow blood types? Because I hit my fly before, and he died, and I didn't see any red blood, but I saw a lot of yellow. So I wasn't sure what that was. Another thing I wanted to talk about, do I have enough time? Oh, I keep rushing, thank God. The stop sign and the roulette board, okay, is what I notice when you design the stop sign. I'm going to try and show you. Before I start talking about stop signs, boy do I miss La Fontaine Park. I used to go there all the time. Oh my God, light a few up, walk through there. But now it'd be hard going through that park with all my books and pens. What do I do, carry my back and stop at every bench? No, sometimes I can get away from it. Anyways, you see the stop sign? You see the stop sign at the top? The 1 position, the 3 position, the 7 position, and the 9 position are all cut in half. We just take it for granted that they're cut in half. Look at a church window and it has that design. There's a circular around it, also cutting the 1, 3, 7, 9. Now, if you look a little bit deeper down, I put across the star key, the 0, and the pound key. They're all explanations of those numbers, 11, 12, and 13. Now, if you look at the 14, where the first point is in the center, it goes over to the side, to the 16. I'm only connecting the red numbers. But if you take a look, okay, in order for it to go from the 14 over to the 16, it cuts the 16 actually in half. So that 16 only has a half value now. Now it goes through 17, cutting at 23 and a half, and going over down towards 21 and over to 18. Okay, but there's numbers that are cut in half in there. In fact, when you really design it, it ends up to have an X in it. But for now, I'm going to count it as half. You see, with an X, obviously it counts for 4 different spaces of the angel. The angle of the angel covers the whole square by an X. Okay, so now what I wanted to say is that if all these numbers, 1, 3, 7, and 9, were all worth half, if you total them, there's 20. Cut 20 in half, you have 10. What is 10? I'm going to show you what 10 is. Can you, where is it? Okay, you see the 2, 5, 8? Forget about the 5. 2 and 8 is 10. 4, 5, 6. Forget about the 5. 4 and 6 is 10. The 2 5s go together. Those are the 2 5s that you removed. Because those 2 5s, when both angel and you become spirit in the heavens, you both become 5, and that becomes the freedom of 55. That's why you don't count them in the scenario. You must always pass through the center position, or what they call area 51. Area 51, okay? 2, 5, 8 takes you up south to heaven. 4, 5, 6, you make the rounds in the correctional center on earth. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. My camera stopped, so I stopped. So anyways, not only that, but they also have a letter count on the telephone, these numbers. So then again, you're going to have to take the letter count into effect and cut it in half. And you want to know what's funny? Whatever you cut in half, the one is going to have more than anybody, because it's only got 4 X's or 3 X's. There are no letters in the 1 position. Okay? So the positions that are open are 2, 5, 8 and 4, 5, 6 that are whole. And that's what's whole. You go all whole up into heaven, and you go on earth whole. You want me to show you again where 2, 5, 6, so you can stick with me? You see the squares that are full here? 2, 5, 8. The other full ones are 4, 5, 6. Okay? That's what I'm talking about, the whole squares. So when you add up the 2, 8, it adds up to 20. So now you get 20 with the big squares, but now because you cut everything in half with the small squares, you're only getting 10. So they're talking about the one spirit of the beta world. That's what they're talking about. Because you're actually, your angel, and you are 2. But now actuality, in this world, we're 1. So that's why you cut that in half. The total of it is 3, equaling to creation, because you always need it. You always got to put back what you take. It ends up somewhere, sometime, somehow. Nothing disappears. Just looks that way. But then again, I'm no magician, and I'm no scientist, so maybe scientists could say something else. But you know what, to all effect, doesn't matter what anybody says, I'm in. But nothing disappears. Anyways, if you take this design and you do the whole roulette wheel with this stop sign design with the half and the whole, and you turn the whole roulette into a stop sign. But wait, how do we do this? There's only one way to do it. First of all, can it be done? Okay. And the reason for that is follow the black lines or the black numbers, follow the red numbers, and make designs from that all the way down. Then you can interchange some of them. I don't know which ones. I'm not quite sure if I can remember. Therefore, I might be telling a lie if I don't know. And then again, maybe I'm not. What's the difference? Anyways, what I'm going to talk to next, I wrote this all down, is a cube. On a cube, okay, it has 6 sides, and on each side there's a possibility of having 9 places to place those spots. Okay? So that would be a total of 54 dots on a 6-side cube. Okay? Now, each spot has 9 spaces. So if you take 9 times 9, you get 81. Okay? But, okay, in this scenario, Add the 1 through 9, it equals 45. 6 sides, 270. Beta world of God. Our world, it's God, it's His world. Okay? So then again, now what happens if you run the 4, 5, 6 route and 2, 5, 8 route on a dice? It can't be done. So what I do is I take all the dice spaces that are used on the dice and I fill them all in. I end up using only 7 of them. Either 7 going east-west, creating the I, or I use 7 of them going north-south, creating the H. Okay? If I do that, there's a total value on each square of 35. 6 times 35 is 210. Beta heaven of the spirit. So it all tells you about exactly what the numbers are in the dice, where the placements are on the dice. They all tell you a story. I mean, because we don't really know the question. I mean, I'm looking for, oh, here it is. We don't really know the question that we really want to ask. And we might ask a question we're not sure of, so we're not sure of the equation to create for it. We have to create a new equation so that the whole formation inside the creation takes format. When it takes format, we can interchange it for things that we do know and exchange it, breaking the codes. Isn't that what it's all about? I can't break the code any better than anybody else, but when I'm in the realm of things, I seem to be able to put things closer to an understanding within the realm. Okay? So, hold on a second. For all the young kids watching out there, there are a few, believe it or not. It is not good to smoke. Okay? You know what I miss? Going to LaFontaine Park and sitting next to the tree. I always sit next to the tree. Well, wait a second, this dog is only barking up one tree. Let's put up 2 trees. You just turn it around. You see how the card changes? So I used to hang around by the tree that barks. Trees have roots. Trees branch out. Trees, okay, are a representation of the matrix. They grow flowers, they die, they come back right away. The trees, the roots, the bark of the dog, and reverse it for God is the upside down beta world way of showing the connection to the matrix. Now don't forget, man has passed the day by over 100 years now, where all our computers and services of technology are so greatly enhanced that we surpass right by the tree without even noticing it, that it's the tree is the exact way our system works. Break it down. You can even tell the years in a tree by the core, the mainframe, the trunk of the elephant who's gray and shows no sides. The tree, what color is it and what kind is it and what kind of leaf does it represent? Is it an oak tree? They call it acre. He, the. You take out the words from French. So even you can find an equation for names of trees, and obviously there's a letter count, and money doesn't grow on trees. There's all the things we talk about trees, and we have the beautiful autumn leaves of the trees, which when the matrix, it continuously overhauls itself. It's almost like the skin on your hand. You rub it off and it comes back. That's out of matrix, which is you rubbing off and coming back. Recycle, man. I mean, what's the first thing you see when you open up your computer? That garbage can? Defragmentation? These are all the things of the matrix. This is how the matrix works. It's so simple. Where do you think man got his ideas from? Do you think they grew on trees? Anyways, another thing I wanted to say is not only that, I was talking about the stop sign before, but when the 1 shows that it's only a half because the line that goes through it, okay, when it goes over to the 2, it makes a pole. Then it goes over to the 3, it cuts it in half because it's 1 part of 1 and 1 part of 2. It goes over to the 4, 5, and 6 because it makes a hole in life on earth. It goes over to the 7, it makes a half because man is nothing compared to God. And I can't explain that one. But you get to 8, it's a full, and that's the heaven. Then you get to 9, it's a half, because it's a half your egg for this birth and half for the angel, or half for your rebirth in heaven. I want to thank you very much for this session, this last session of the night. I am the representation of Mr. Tapkans. Have a good night. Thank you.